Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at and driving around using this.
Lock the video.
Video protected.
So here we go. It's as cheap as chips, isn't it? For the quality you get, that is a very, very good price. And I'm not trying to be Mr. Salesman or nothing like that. When I first started this channel, some of the cameras that I had that were more expensive than this, a lot more expensive than this, were absolutely pony compared to this, as you'll see some of the clips that I'll show in a little while. So it's very nice and cheap. That's what you get in the box. I won't go into too much details and all the techie side and all that, but I know as soon as you see Sony on a dash cam, it's going to be quite good. Now I won't go into the technical side of this camera because that's not what I do. I will show you it in action basically. So if you want to see the technical side of it, there are plenty of reviews on YouTube about this camera. Now what I will say about this camera is it hasn't got a screen on it, but that's not a problem because what you do is you download the app, and as you're putting this on your windscreen, you're looking at the app on your phone and get a better view of what you're seeing. I do it whether it's got a screen on my dash cams or not. I always download the app and I look at the app on my phone as I'm putting the dash cam on the screen. It's just easier. It gives you a better view of what you're gonna see on your clips. Now in my case, I got a very busy windscreen. I got cameras all over the place, so it's easier to use the app because you want a nice big screen to see the camera that you're putting up isn't affected by another camera. You don't get that in the shot as well. So it's quite simple. Put it this way, if I can figure it out, anyone can. So we go to my car now. That's the one that I always use for our dash cam clips. That one there goes off to the cloud. I've got no control over that one whatsoever. That one there is my interior camera, and that one over there is the one we're going to be reviewing today. So as you can see, it is quite a busy old windscreen there. And because of the other cameras, that isn't the ideal place I would actually put that camera. But it is what it is, and that's where it's got to go. So let's get on with showing you what this camera does.
Recording started. Wi-Fi enabled. Wi-Fi connected.
So as you just heard, it does talk to you. You can turn all of that sort of settings off so you can have it in total silence if you prefer. As you can see, there are a few reflections on the windscreen, and that is just basically where I've mounted the camera because of all the other cameras on there. But it can still spot a pedestrian crossing where it shouldn't. Yeah. So instead of doing a long run, I'm just going to jump from clip to clip sort of thing. Normally, you can get two cars down here if people behave themselves and move over to the right slightly. I can get through the first one, but I'm not going to get through that second one. I'm not going to even risk it. So I'm just going to wait for both of these cars to turn right. And I should have turned the radio off before I did this review. I do later on. And as you can see, yeah, he doesn't turn right. He did indicate, he just changed his mind. Same car, just a little bit further down the road. Decides to park on double yellow lines on the pavement. Well done. But we can see his registration number nice and clear with this new camera. A little bit further down the road, we come to someone just having a chat. And you'll notice to the right hand side of the screen we can still see one of my cameras there. That's because that is bang right smack in the middle of the screen. Even on my normal dash cam camera. It's a bit annoying. I can't wait for that to go, and I've got about another year and then I can get rid of that. It's all to do with my insurance, as this bike comes round the outside to turn left. Good bit of riding that. Yeah, so as I say, once a car's paid for and it's mine, I can get rid of that camera, and I'll probably mount a camera there of my own instead. Now, there's a test centre around the corner. I think this car is on test because, and I think it would lose marks here. I don't think it should be overtaking that bus now. That bus is indicating, look how wide it's going into oncoming traffic. Now, I know I've got a few driving instructors that subscribe. Let us know what you think about that. Would they have lost a few marks there? And don't forget to let us know what you think about the camera, guys. Whether you like the quality of it, the picture. I've seen a lot worse, and for the price of it, I actually think it's pretty good. Now, I'm going to overtake the bus now, and look what happens here. Yeah, one of them things again, called a pedestrian. But look at that. It goes to go into the next lane, but that guy don't wait for her.
Yeah, there's your numpty.
But at least she was watching out for him. Should be the other way around, mind you. So nothing majorly happens here. I'm just going to move out so the bus can come out. And we're basically just looking at the quality of the camera rather than anything else at the minute. I do not move back over to the left hand lane because there is nothing behind me, and I know that left hand lane just a little bit further down the road turns into a bus lane, and it's at any time bus lane, so basically you cannot use that bus lane at any time. There's another speed camera to the right hand side there, and right up in front there is a mosque. That is one of the biggest mosques in Europe. I don't know if it is the biggest now. It used to be. I'm sure it used to be the biggest, but it's now one of the biggest. So we're coming into Malden. If you wanted to do some research on the mosque and put me right whether it is the biggest or not, I'll leave it up to you to go and Wikipedia it or whatever. And as you see, there's the bus lane, and I know some of you will be saying, well, you had plenty of time to move over, but I didn't. So there you have it. Now, a little bit of a tip: if you're not used to driving in London or in the surrounding areas of London, don't take your apps for granted. When it comes up with your speed limits and everything else on your apps, don't take them for granted. Always look for the road signs, because they are constantly changing the speed limits on these roads, and they still might be coming up on your car dashboard and all of the rest of the apps that you've got, the old speed limit. So be very careful, because they're changing them all the time, and 9 times out of 10 there is a speed camera on that road as well. So that's my top tip if you're intending to drive round London. Now, the road we've just come off of was a 30. Now we're coming into a 20. This has always been a 30 mile an hour speed limit as well, until fairly recently. Where that Royal Mail van is going now to the left, that was also a 30 miles an hour road, and it's now a 20. So be very, very careful when you drive around London now. They're just trying to get your money any way, shape or form they can. And this includes bus lanes, by the way. I kid you not. They changed the times of bus lanes. Now, you could be driving down one road and it will be, the bus lane finishes at 10 AM after schools are in and all that sort of stuff. And further down that same road, could be a different time. So you've still got to be really careful on that as well. You've got to be looking at road signs constantly. I'm sure that's why people don't drive in bus lanes when they're allowed to, because of the confusion that it's caused by changing all the times and everything of these things. All the ones around here are 24-hour. You're not allowed to go in them at all. So I think that cuts down the confusion, really, myself. So everyone knows where they stand. They're out of them all the time. As you're coming up here to this one, you'll see the sign that says at all times. So just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful if you're new to the areas. And I'm just going to show you up here. We've just come from a 20 and now we're back to a 30. So it's constant. This happens constantly in London and surrounding areas now. And it's so easy to get flashed on one of these cameras if you're not paying attention. Now this road leads into Wimbledon. We won't be going as far in as Wimbledon, but in Wimbledon it's 20 miles an hour too. You come back out here and it's 30 miles an hour. This is London at the moment. 30 mile an hour speed limit, a money making machine over there, and there's a sign over there, the ULEZ sign, which is another money making scheme over there. So it's all about money. So as I say, we've driven into Malden where it was a 30 mile an hour speed limit. In Malden it's 20 mile an hour speed limit. The road that we were just on goes straight into Wimbledon. That's a 20 mile an hour speed limit, and that is continuous all over London at the moment. And it can only be for money, because some of these roads are so big you could be doing 40 mile an hour speed limits down them, never mind 20. It's ridiculous. So we're going to come up to this little roundabout in a minute where I'm going to be turning right into a place called Abbey Mills. And no, I'm not off for a pizza over there. I'm just going to park up and we'll call it a day there. So let us know what you think of the camera. At that price you can't go wrong really. If you don't fancy that one, don't forget you also got the Mini 2, which I also did a video on. Really nice camera, that one. And also at a very good price. So I will leave links in the description down below and have a little look. You can have a little look at the rest of their stuff as well. They constantly are changing the price as well. They always have sales on and stuff like that, so it's worth having a little look. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.